April 3rd. Let me start by saying, as always, I hope everything's going well with you and your family. I hope you guys had a really good week, digital learning and all the other things that you guys are doing, and I hope you guys have something fun planned for the weekend, whatever that looks like these days. So today we are going to do a short Canvas discussion about the Lippmann prompt. So that's the indispensable opposition. It's the reading that you worked with last class on Wednesday. It's also going to be the reading that you are going to write a timed write to on Tuesday. So today your kind of homework is to take part in the Canvas discussion. I'll explain how that works. And then you're also going to outline the Lippmann prompt. So all that is a very, very short thing. We've done this a ton. Just at the bottom or on a separate piece of paper, you guys are just going to write what the topics for your body paragraph are going to be. Like I said, Tuesday you're going to complete the full-time write. You'll be able to type this one or handwrite. I think no matter what, I think there's going to be a typing option on that new 45 minutes AP exam. So typing is going to be an option for us from now on, unless I hear otherwise tomorrow when I get an update. So the Canvas discussion. I kind of want to do it sort of low-key today and just sort of practice it. So between now and Tuesday, you'll need to write your response to a question. That's the first part, and then you'll have to respond to someone else's thoughts. The question is about Lippmann. So let me show you what that looks like really quickly. If we go into Canvas for today, and we go into modules, looks like I have limited time to do this. We are going to go into the first Canvas discussion and just click right here. And when you click into it, it tells you need to participate in the discussion two ways. You have to respond to the question, and then you have to respond to one other student's post. So basically, you're going to type your answer to the question down here in reply. Walter Lippmann suggests that people tolerate the opinions of others because they are magnanimous, which is just a fancy way of saying generous, lazy, or they lack conviction. They really don't care enough. So he's basically saying that we let other people say and think what they want because we're being cool about it, because we're just kind of lazy and we don't feel moved to stand up, or we just don't have strong opinions about the matter. So you're going to write a short post to start. That's the part number one. Just one or two sentences explaining your stance on the issue. Do people let people say whatever they want because they're being generous, because they're being lazy, they don't really care, something else? That's the first part. The second part is check back, and once more people have replied, you can reply to someone else. The way this is set up, and I apologize if you already know how to do this, and this tutorial is kind of a waste of your time, I apologize, but the way this is set up, you won't be able to respond to anyone until you write your post. So once you write your post, you'll be able to see what everyone else said, and then you'll be able to respond. So that's a Canvas discussion. I want this to kind of mimic the discussions that we would have in class and let that be that piece for us. And so I'm hoping to use this a little bit more. The other thing I want to note that's in Canvas right now is the Lippmann reading again. So here's the indispensable opposition, the prompt. You guys have already looked at this. You've already worked with it, but here it is again, just in case you need it. So that's about the Lippmann prompt in terms of something you're going to write to. So this is what I want for the outline. The outline is not going to get turned in, but it's just going to be a quick thing that you do to get yourself ready to write. So just as a review, for a full-time write, you need one introduction where you answer the question in the prompt, and then you need 3 body paragraphs. Each body paragraph is going to focus on a rhetorical strategy. It's rhetorical analysis. So in the introduction, you would introduce the speaker and the situation, and then you also answer the question in the prompt. In this case, the question is, write an essay where you analyze the rhetorical strategies Lippmann uses to develop his argument. You need to say what his argument is. It's part of the reason I've been having you do so much like writing and thinking about the reading in general, is to pin down that argument. Finally, the rhetorical strategies. They could be diction, syntax, tone, ethos, pathos, logos, or figurative language. You have to pick one for each of your body paragraphs. If you're not sure what to write about, you can always write about diction. What specific word choices do they use, and why did they use those words? What's the connotation, like sort of the deeper meaning behind the words? If you use slaughter and slaughter instead of kill, what's the difference between those two words? They're very similar, but the kind of vibe behind them is different, that connotation. Syntax, sentence structure. The other thing is you can always talk about is tone. What's the writer's attitude towards the subject and how does it change over time. So does the tone start one way and then change by the end of it, or maybe change in the middle? The other thing you can always write about is ethos. No matter what, ethos will be in there because the writer at some point is going to have to prove their credibility. Um, how do they how do they get people to listen to them? How do they get people to trust what they're saying? So anyway, pick 3 rhetorical strategies. They can be any of these. There is definitely figurative language at the end. There's some kind of similes and metaphors in this particular one, so you can pick from those 2. So no matter what you pick in your body paragraphs, you need to focus on how the author used the rhetorical strategies to make this particular argument, whatever the argument is, you're going to identify the Lippmann's making for this particular audience. When you're thinking about audience, the only clue they kind of give you is that it's written in 1939. So you don't have to know a ton about history, but like it's World War II. It's at the beginning of World War II. And he's writing for the Atlantic Monthly, and I can tell you that that's a magazine. I can tell you it was kind of a magazine for more intellectual people. But even if you don't write about the intellectuals, you have to know that it's a magazine by subscription, so it's not something that everyone's gonna be reading. It's gonna be a certain kind of target audience, and tend to be people who are interested in world events and interested in kind of philosophical musings. So that is it. Like I said, 2 assignments for today. You got to post a Canvas, the Canvas discussion, and then get ready. I'm sorry, that's a typo. Get ready to write for Tuesday. You can do the time right early if you want. You can do it over the weekend, write it down and take pictures, or you can type it on a Google Doc, and then on Tuesday there'll be a place for you to submit it. That's pretty much it. I want to say again, the outline, I do want you to do the outline. You are not turning in the outline. You're only going to be turning in your writing. Please let me know if you have any questions. I hope you guys have a really, really great weekend, and I hope everything's well on your end. Talk to you later.